Hi, this is John with Flat 6 Motorsports. Today we're installing the Kline Innovation Valvetronic Exhaust with over-axle pipes for the 718 4.0 GTS. Let's get into it. So in front of me I have the Kline Inconel system. Now this is Inconel 625, which is a very exotic material. It's lightweight, strong, has great thermal properties. It's actually the technology that's used in Formula One along with other aerospace applications. Now Kline Innovation is a Romanian-based manufacturer of high-quality exhaust systems. They make these systems for Porsches, sports cars, and a variety of exotics. In front of us is the 718 GT4 4.0 liter exhaust system. So this is going to fit both Cayman and Boxster 4.0 GTSs along with the GT4 and the Boxster Spyder. Now this system is a valve system. It uses very high quality mandrel bends. The weight of the system is about 14 pounds lighter than the factory unit, and the over-axle pipes that come with the system are also save about 14 pounds on both sides, 7 pounds each. So overall, collectively, you're dropping about 28 pounds off the rear of the car, which is really good weight savings. I will mention as well, these over-axle pipes do have a resonator on them. So they offer them that way. They also offer optional heat shielding, and this system is available in Inconel 625 or T304 stainless steel. It also has some optional tips. These are the optional carbon fiber tips, a very large, aggressive carbon fiber style tip. So we'll throw that on as well. Okay, so the system is simple. It has a valve. With the valves open, it's just going to bypass go through an X pipe and directly out the exhaust. So it should be a pretty straight through shot. With the valves closed, it's going to route through this center muffler, which should keep things pretty civil with the valves closed. But with that being said, let's get it on the car. We're going to do some dyno runs with it and then get it on the road and give you some driving impressions. Before we get into the installation, I do want to cover one topic. So Porsche from the factory has a logic-based system on the valves. So when you replace an exhaust system, whether it's the stock system, the OAPs, or any muffler system, the valves are still going to be actuated by the factory ECU. And basically what they do is when you push the button open, it will open temporarily, but from about 1 to 4,000 RPMs, they close. And they do this for global noise homologated rules for different regulations around the globe. You're going to need to look into two different solutions. Either a car graphic valve controller, which is a piggyback type unit. It's a plug and play unit, so it plugs in. And these are offered in a 2 mode, which is either the factory mode, what's selected on the switch, or full open. There's a 3 mode, which allows you to do the factory condition, open or close. And then there's also a version that integrates with the PSC button. So the PSC button takes over all control of the valves, probably the way it should have come. An alternative solution is the M coder. So M Engineering has a piece of software that can be written to the ECU that will take control of the valve. So your PSC button then will become a true PSC button, open or closed. So this is offered as their M coder, or if you want to go to their M tuner, which actually includes a stage 1 software calibration, those features come included for free. Both great solutions. One is very simple if you want to keep all your OEM stuff. The M coder is a great way to do that. The car graphics is a nice plug and play solution if it's something you want to take on and off over time. So now with that being said, let's get into the install. We're going to put it on the dyno. We're going to see what kind of power this makes. We're also going to test some of the decibels outside of the car from 50 feet away and also in cabin. And then we'll take it on the road and give you some impressions. So let's get into it. the dyno pole from 50 feet away, we measured the max decibels. We measured 100.3, which is up about 6 decibels from stock. Idle is very similar, so no big difference there. While we had the car on the dyno, we also held the engine at a constant 3,000 RPM and measured decibels inside of the cabin. The Kline was 66.7, so about 2 decibels louder than stock, pretty close, not a huge difference that you can tell. With the valves open, not much of a change either, about 67.1, which is close to stock, within 1 decibel of stock. So from inside of the cabin, you're not going to hear a major difference. It's mostly outside with it you'll hear more. And the Kline system picked up quite a considerable amount of power with a peak gain of 25 wheel horsepower and a max gain of 29 wheel horsepower. We also recorded 11 foot-pounds of torque increased on the peak number and a max gain of 32 foot-pounds of torque, and that's all area under the curve, so pretty significant gains by doing just an exhaust. Okay, so we are in the Boxster GTS 4.0 with the Kline Innovation Inconel exhaust. So this is a valve system made out of Inconel 625. It does operate with the drive modes or valve controller. Right now we have the valves closed. You still get a little bit of that resonance that you get with a factory exhaust setup around, say about from 2,000 to 2,700 RPMs, a little bit of a booming resonance, but it's really not bad. I mean, you could have a phone conversation in here. It's fairly mild. Some of the other systems offer a little bit quieter of a sound with the valves closed. This, you still kind of get some tone. So if you're somebody who's looking for, improved tone and sound at all times, this gives it to you. Now, when you change it over, just put it in sport mode, valves open up. It's actually really not much of a difference. Frankly, it's a little hard to hear the changeover. You can hear it slightly. I think you hear it more kind of the mid-range and higher RPMs when the valves are open, but a little bit more sound, a little more volume for sure with the valves open. It's just not as significant of a change, but the tone is very nice. It's very reminiscent of a 3.8 liter, like the GT4 motors, the X51s with 991.1. That's sort of what it reminds me of, obviously with an exhaust on it opened up, but it kind of has that higher pitch sound to it, a very pure sound. I really like the tone of it. It's a very sporty, exotic, just pure tone. It sounds really good at the higher RPMs, lower RPMs as well, but it just comes through the cabin when you're on the throttle. Very very clean tone. Like I said, I prefer the little bit higher pitch sound that this system does deliver. But overall, drop back down into normal mode, it's not a significant changeover. So that is one thing with this system. I would say that while it does do both pretty well, the spectrum of sound between valves open and closed might be a little tighter than some other systems. So certainly if you're somebody who wants to hear the exhaust, you're doing that for that reason. This system, you're gonna hear more kind of at all times. So with the valves open, just really beautiful sound. It has this very pure, high pitch sports car semi-exotic sound to it. So really impressed by this system. Obviously a very high quality system. Kline makes some of the best exhausts in the world. They offer this in stainless steel and Inconel. And a question we also get pretty often between the two is, can you hear a sound difference? And the answer is yes. It's fairly minor. I tend to hear a little more depth to the tone with Inconel. Slightly different pitch. I would say it kind of seems to be a little bit deeper at the lower RPMs and slightly higher pitch at the higher RPMs. So it just has a slight difference in sound. I wouldn't say it's significant. The Inconel obviously is fairly lightweight, has a lot of great thermal properties as well. But the stainless steel is also a great option, a little more economical for folks on a budget. So I hope you enjoyed that video. This series has quite a few different exhaust setups covering them. Feel free to subscribe and check us out at flat6.com. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one.